I'm dropping an underwater camera 600 feet deep on a shipwreck, and what we saw down there was unbelievable. So without further ado, let's head 600 feet below the surface. So we make a run out of Hillsboro Inlet to our spot where we were going to drop this camera at, and this spot was about 3 miles offshore. Once we got to this spot, we started setting up our rig. And this rig is pretty basic. We have a light on top, and the light is really important when you're dropping this deep because it's pitch black down there. Next thing we do is we take a full squid and cut them into 3 small pieces. Once this was done, we put a squid on all 5 hooks, and most importantly now, we rig up the camera. Once we turned on this camera and it was ready to record, we're ready to make drop number 1. So once we plugged in the battery to this electric reel, we start making our way 600 feet deep. So we switch over to our underwater camera point of view and we start making our way down there. And when you're fishing 600 feet deep, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes to hit bottom. If the current's really bad, it could take up to 5 minutes just to get down to the bottom. And the reason we're able to do this kind of fishing right now is because the season for these fish is actually open. And what we saw on the second drop with the underwater camera was unbelievable. So now we make our way down on the first drop. We'll see you guys down at the bottom. So I would say we're about halfway down to the bottom, and I want you guys to watch to see how fast it gets dark. So we're about 400 feet deep here, and just watch how dark it gets down here. So we're now about 20 seconds off the bottom, and like I told you guys earlier, it's pitch black down here, and that's why it's so important to add a light on top of our rig. And on this first drop, we were actually able to catch one of the tastiest deep drop fish, which was so awesome to catch with this underwater camera. So we have just hit the bottom, and as you guys can see, we can barely see anything down here. But it takes these blue line tilefish about a minute or 2 before they actually start attacking your bait. So we sat in this spot for a minute or 2, and we were just drifting with this current, and honestly on this day we got really lucky. The current was pretty good. So we waited about another 30 seconds, and that's when we started getting a lot of action. So you guys are now going to hear what a bite sounds like 600 feet deep. So all that crazy noise you guys just heard, that was actually a fish hitting our bait. But sadly, this first fish did not connect on the bait. But usually when you start getting bites by one of these tilefish, it leads on to another one biting. And it didn't take long for the next fish to hit our line. So all that noise you guys hear, we just hooked into our first fish. And as you guys can see him now, it looks like a nice sized blue line tilefish. On the top left, you guys can see we're already starting to bring this fish up. So I skipped the long part for you guys. We're about 5 minutes now into this fight, and we got him right under this boat. And these blue line tilefish, like I told you guys earlier, these fish are awesome eating, and the season's really short for them. They just opened on May 1st. And if you guys enjoy underwater content just like this, drop a like on this video. We mainly only do underwater videos. So we had this fish about 10 feet right under the boat. On this day, sadly, we forgot to bring our big net, so I had to just gaff this fish in the head. But we were successfully able to land this beautiful blue line tilefish, and this was a nice sized tilefish. Once we flipped him in the boat, we got him on ice, and then we started rigging up for drop number 2. And this is the craziest drop I have seen while using this underwater camera. So now let's head on down for drop number 2. So again, we're about 1/3 of the way down there. And if you guys have any good ideas of where we should drop this camera next, Let me know in the comments down below. We're always looking for new ideas of where we should drop this underwater camera. So we have just hit bottom, and it's actually a little clearer in this spot. We're just staring at the sand right now, but in about 30 seconds is where the fish started showing up again. And on this drop, we actually were able to catch a sea monster hitting our bait, and we were successfully able to land this sea monster. So stay tuned. So you guys are about to hear all these fish hitting our bait again. And on this drop, we actually were able to land 2 fish. So you guys can see we are hooked up, and whatever we have is fighting really hard. And you guys can see it looks like we have another blue line tilefish. And then on the bottom of that blue line tilefish, there is a giant eel. So we're about halfway off the bottom again, and if you guys know what kind of eel this is, let me know in the comments down below. Honestly, this is the first time I have ever caught an eel, and for it being 600 feet deep, I thought it was pretty cool to catch with the underwater camera. And we also had this nice blue line tilefish. So we got both of these fish now right under the boat, and honestly, for all the times I've used this underwater camera, dropping on this shipwreck 600 feet deep had to be one of the coolest things we have done with this underwater camera. So we pulled out our DJI underwater camera now, and we got ready to capture this eel and this tilefish underwater. So we put this camera in the water, and there is that eel I told you guys about. And if you guys know what type of eel that is, let me know in the comments down below. It was honestly a pretty big eel. But we hope you guys enjoyed this Barjacks fishing video, and we hope to see you guys in the next Barjacks family fishing video.